Dr. Michael Rivera stared at the sonar readings for the third time that morning, his coffee growing cold in his trembling hands. 20,000 feet below the Pacific Ocean's surface, something impossible sat waiting, a perfect geometric structure that had no business existing in nature. "Commander, you need to see this," he called out to Jennifer Walsh, the expedition leader aboard the research vessel Atlantis Explorer. The deep-sea mapping mission had been routine until an hour ago. Now, every scientist on board crowded around the main display, watching as the submersible drone descended through the crushing darkness toward what could only be described as a spacecraft. "It's been down there for at least 10,000 years, based on the sediment coverage," whispered Dr. Robert Thompson, the team's geologist. "But the hull, it's completely intact. No corrosion. Nothing." The drone's lights cut through the darkness, illuminating a vessel that seemed to swallow the ocean around it. It was massive, easily the size of a football stadium, with surfaces that reflected the light in ways that made Michael's eyes hurt. The geometry was wrong, somehow. Angles that shouldn't connect did, creating an architecture that seemed to fold in on itself while simultaneously expanding outward. "There's an opening," Jennifer announced, her voice steady despite the magnitude of what they were witnessing. "Take us in." The drone slipped through a triangular aperture that dilated like a living iris. Inside, the water had been kept out by some invisible barrier, as if the ocean itself refused to enter this space. The interior was pristine, lit by a soft bioluminescent glow emanating from the walls themselves. What they found inside would change humanity's understanding of everything. The main chamber was a tomb, but not for aliens. Dozens of crystalline pods lined the walls, and inside each one floated a perfectly preserved human being. Not alien humanoids. Not ancient hominids. Modern humans, wearing clothes that wouldn't look out of place in any contemporary city. "This is impossible," Michael breathed. "These people, they're from our time. But this ship has been underwater for millennia." Dr. Lisa Martinez, the team's xenobiologist, was already running analysis on the transmitted data. The DNA samples were getting through the scanner, they're human. 100%. But there's something else. Their genetic markers show modifications, enhancements to cognitive function, radiation resistance, extended lifespan potential. Jennifer's hand hovered over the communication console. Whatever they'd found, it was bigger than their mission, bigger than their careers. "Keep documenting everything. We need to understand what happened here before we report this." The drone continued deeper into the vessel, discovering chamber after chamber of marvels. A control room with interfaces that responded to the drone's cameras, projecting holographic star maps that showed Earth's position, but from 10,000 years ago. Medical bays with technology that made current cutting-edge equipment look like stone tools. Storage rooms filled with data crystals containing information that would take decades to decrypt. Then they found the message. In the ship's central chamber, a holographic terminal activated as the drone approached. A woman's face materialized, blonde hair, green eyes, unmistakably human. She began speaking in a language that sounded almost like English but was different enough to require the ship's own translation matrix to interpret. "If you're seeing this, then we failed," the woman said, her image flickering with ancient data corruption. "My name is Commander Rebecca Stone, United Earth Space Command, and this is the Prometheus. We're not from the past. We're from your future." The crew aboard the Atlantis Explorer sat in stunned silence as the recording continued. "In your year 2847, humanity discovered faster-than-light travel. We expanded across the stars, encountering hundreds of civilizations. We learned that the universe operates on cycles, cosmic resets triggered by a force we came to call the Devourer. Every 50,000 years, it sweeps through the galaxy, consuming everything. Civilizations, planets, stars themselves." Rebecca's expression hardened. "We found evidence that Earth had been reset before. Multiple times. Each time, humanity clawed its way back from nothing, only to be wiped out again before reaching the stars. But this time, we had warning. We had time. The hologram gestured, and images filled the chamber, massive battles in space, human fleets fighting against entities that defied description, reality itself seeming to fracture around them. We couldn't stop it. But we could try to break the cycle. The Prometheus was our ark, carrying our best and brightest back through time using technology we barely understood. The plan was to warn our ancestors, to give them the knowledge to prepare, to build defenses centuries before the Devourer's next arrival. Rebecca's image wavered. But something went wrong. The temporal jump was unstable. We arrived too far back, and our systems failed. The crew entered stasis, hoping the ship's automated systems would eventually revive us. I'm recording this as the last backup fails. We're going to sleep, possibly forever. But the knowledge is here. The technology is here. Everything you need to save humanity is in this ship. The recording ended, leaving only silence and the soft hum of ancient technology. Commander Walsh, Michael finally spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. What do we do? Jennifer looked at the faces of her crew, scientists who had left home that morning expecting another routine day of ocean mapping. Now they held humanity's future in their hands. We bring them home, she said firmly. We wake them up. And we prepare. Because if that message is true, we've got about 800 years to get ready for the fight of our species' existence. The Atlantis explorer surfaced 3 hours later. By the time Jennifer made the encrypted call to Washington, she already knew that everything was about to change. Humanity had always wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they knew the truth, they'd been fighting for survival longer than they'd ever imagined, and their greatest allies had been waiting beneath the waves all along. The future had reached back to save the past. Now it was humanity's turn to prove they were worth saving.